Now, I've been working a lot in my sketchbook lately. Still doing that, but I thought today I would play some in pastels. I've got a piece of UArt sanded paper here. I think this is 600, yeah. I have a huge stack of pieces like this that have been used for a workshop, and they're accumulating. So what I want to do today is wash this one down and use it to do the bunny rabbit on a cool color background, because I did it on pink last time and it looks great. I love it. But let's see what it looks like, and then I have that for demo purposes. Ooh, this paper has a bit of a scratch there, which is fine. I will just need to work around it. Now, there is not much on here, so I may have to add some more pigment to make it really move around. This is alcohol in the spray bottle, by the way. Just your run-of-the-mill drugstore isopropyl. Nothing fancy. It's getting a bit more, stuff. Pigment, that's the stuff. I need a small ruler here. There we go. I'm actually going to do a 4x5, so a pretty tiny study, and I want to see how this is going to work. Yeah, I'm going to turn it sideways. While that's drying, I can outline my area. All right, that's my 4x5 area, I think. Let's double check. It looks a bit wonky. It is a bit wonky. Goodness, I cannot. I did 4 3/4 here. So now, 4 and 4, 5 and a little more than 5, is it? No. I do want to put some more pigment on there. Is that something stuck on there? Oh my gosh, that was glue and not a scratch. Huh. All right, well, good to know. All right, I've got to let that dry now. See if I can find the other bunny study. I'm not seeing it, of course, but I'll show you just for grins. This is the pile that I'm talking about. So quite a few. I need to come up with a workshop idea so people can help me use through these. Show you how I sharpen here real quick. Breakaway blade, pastel pencil. Just after whittling away the wood portion, it's slowly scraping the pastel core into a serviceable point. There you go. All right, back to the easel. Now I'm going to set up my grid. I have a 9 square grid with just a plain old X. Measure thrice, grid once. Is that how the saying goes? Finally. All right, let's get these lines up here. get rid of these lines. All right, let's test some colors. What's that one? Yeah. This color in the underpainting. What I'm doing right now is called an underpainting. So I'm severely limiting my color palette to just a few values in a related family. And it just helps me figure out the values and my forms before messing with color. Fluffy bun is kind of lit behind. I'll erase that last bit. There we go. Or is it that one? It's that one I was thinking, yeah. I want everything in the background to be a slightly darker value than the subject, so. Now, I want to find something super dark, but not black. That might do it. Yeah, see how that is very saturated and dark, not just dark. So that is that's kind of like the holy grail there. In dark colors. Not just dark, but also saturated. So far, these are all new pastel colors. If you can get them, I highly recommend them, but do know that they are no longer making them. It's kind of sad. Kind of got his ears back. They have more of an upright attitude. I'm showing them at. And I've got his nose too high. I'm coming with some pastel pencil to help me with accuracy here. That nose should start. There we go. Profile's starting to look a little better now. I'm gonna give that a spritz with alcohol just to encourage it to stay in place. Just looking for a snow shadow color, and I think that will do. That's pretty on there. Glows just a little bit. I like that orangey brown on there. That's pretty. Here's a bright orange. I'm not sure if I really need that. Wow, that's punchy. Okay, I think I have enough to get started. It's gonna look like a hot mess for a bit. Ooh, that's a nice kind of shadowy purpley. Speaking of shadowy purpley, I feel like I'm mangling this background. Maybe it's just because we're in the hot mess stage right now. Shadowy snow color. Moment to give it a little spritz there. It's still a hot mess, bless its heart, but we're getting there. I see things are starting to blend now. think I'm going to try and do a little bit of black. One wonderful comment I get a lot is that my eyes come out very expressive and realistic, and I really think that is because I pay close attention to the different values in the eye. You know, it's not just a black eye. If I zoom in on my reference, I can see the snow reflected in the rabbit's eye, but of course it's not very bright. Same thing with the sky. That's probably too bright, but I will be modifying that, so it's okay for now. That's right there. See, that eye to me it's already bang. So there's not much room to refine it here in this tiny little sketch, but it is a start. Let's see here. I want to sharpen. This is a neat little tool. This is by Cretacolor. So it's a clutch holder, and these are pastel leads, if you will. And this is an M&R, an E&M sharpener, and it sharpens these just beautifully. So there's no wood to, you know, whittle off. And just carefully push it in there until you get the point. Well, it's not a very long point, I guess would be my only complaint if I really have one, and I don't, but get a nice point. I can put that back in, and I'm off to the races. And then of course you have to dump it out. I think I'm going to come in the background here and just add a little bit of this black over that green. Adjust the edges as I need to. Doing some blending here in the background with another pastel pencil. I find with pastels, blending will happen, and it's best if I don't rush it. You know, in other words, let it happen when the conditions are right. I finished up yesterday's play study of the bunny on the blue background, and had a Zoom call with friends last night where we all worked on artwork. Let me grab this here. And so it was infectious, and I ended up finishing that little bunny. And I'm really happy with it. So I'm going to pop it into a little frame, and I'm going to show you guys how you can frame pastel art in case you're interested in that sort of thing. Now I gotta find my proper tape. I'm using linen hinging tape. It's really thin, fine tape. It does really well. You could use, if it's just for you, use masking tape. Use whatever you got. It's small. So because this frame is this mat has a 4x6 opening, I had to add a little bit to the bottom of my artwork there. So that's why it looks a little different. Now, with this sanded paper, it's best to cut from the backside. Next thing I need is a piece of glassine paper. You could use, like newsprint, you know, whatever you got. This is just make sure that I don't make too much of a mess. I do like to have a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch border around the pastel artwork. Gives you a place to hold it. Gives a place for the tape to grip, because if there's a lot of pastel on it, then that tape is not going to want to stick. All right, so I've got my straight blade. If you cut from the sanded side, you'll get 1 or 2 passes and your blade will be dull. It'll be done. So, you know, I kind of like my blades to last a little longer than that. How'd we do? We do okay? Yeah. Okay. So the other side, if it's 4 by 6, then I should be able to cut at 7. Go straight across. All right. So there it is, nicely trimmed down. All right, so here is my little frame. Now, do we have enough room to tape it down? This is what I wasn't sure. Yeah, see how it goes right to the edge there. So how am I going to do that? I could literally hinge it. Since it's so small, if I hinge it to the top of the mat, we should be good. So let's do it that way. So what I'm going to do is cut a piece of tape about that long. And this has a paper backing on it. And then position. So since I've got that 1/2 inch border, the paper has somewhere to stick to. Is that going to be, I may have to trim it down. Maybe. Word to the wise. How wide is this tape? It's 1 1/4. So yeah. If I would have realized that ahead of time, I would have cut it down with the paper on it. But as you can see, it's not that big of a deal. This side up, that inside out. Butt these up so they're touching. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. So that is how to do that. Now, I do have some schmutzing. Let me grab kneaded eraser. Do not use your finger to rub them off. It will just rub them in. Where is this? Just going to set that in there to hold it flat, and then I'm going to flip it over and make sure. Do I have any schmutz in the way? Yep, there's a little bit right there. Seems to be a little schmutz right there. There. Okay, putting that back on. Looks good. And you're good to go. So not too hard. It's just a little fiddly once you get the hang of it. If you have any questions on framing, let me know. Once soft pastels are behind frames, they're pretty bomb-proof. I've got pieces that travel a lot. And once a year maybe, I'll open them up, clean off the glass, and there's just the slightest film of pastel dust on the inside, but you wouldn't see it unless you wiped it off. I will see you guys later. Have a great week.